Recording in progress.
As I was saying, good evening, and welcome to this meeting of the Old Kings Highway Committee of the Town of Yarmouth, which is being held in accordance with Chapter 470 of the Acts of 1973 as amended at 7:15 p.m. on Monday, January 27th, 2025, at the Yarmouth Town Hall Hearing Room located at 1146 Route 28, South Yarmouth. Moreover, pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, considering certain COVID-19 measures, this meeting is being run in hybrid mode, by which I mean active live participation. There will likely be some Zoom participation. There may even be a phone caller tonight. We'll see. 5 new applications for certificates of appropriateness and 3 tabled certificates of appropriateness will be heard this evening in the order listed on the agenda. Please be reminded that our committee's main purpose is to review items for appropriateness and setting, and it is the responsibility of the applicant to comply with the regulations of other town boards and departments, including building, conservation, engineering, health, zoning, and the sign inspector. You should know there is a 10 calendar day appeal period starting once a decision is filed with the town clerk. Any person aggrieved by our decision tonight can appeal to the Regional Commission of the Old Kings Highway Historic District. Our office administrator, Lisa Sherman, will be happy to answer any questions you may have regarding this process. And so our process here is to call each item in order as listed on the agenda, have the applicant and/or applicant's representatives, if present, come before us to the table, speak into the microphone, identify yourself or yourselves, state your application without interruption from either members of this committee or the public, after which members of the committee will be free to ask questions and make comments, and following that, members of the public will be free to ask questions and or make comments, and for that purpose, if you are present, kindly stand to the podium to my front left, speak into the microphone, and likewise identify yourself and state your case. So, Ms. Argo, do you wish to make your statement at this
Yes,
point?
thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a pending resignation for myself, and since you have a full quorum, I will recuse myself from the proceedings, but I will attend the meeting as I'm still very interested. Thank you.
Thank you. So I have an announcement to make, and this is not on the agenda because we received a letter and it was too late to publish it on the agenda. So I'm going to read it. I will not be commenting, nor will any of the members of the committee be commenting or asking questions. No questions or comments will be entertained by members of the public. This item will be on the agenda for our next meeting, and at that time, anyone who wishes to speak to it is welcome to speak to it. So the letter is dated January 24th, 2025. It was sent by counsel for the commission, the Old Kings Highway Commission, to the various chairpersons of the commission, and I am one of those. It's regarding Chapter 239 of the Acts of 2024, Climactic and Energy Citing Legislation. Dear Regional Commissioners, as you are aware, on November 21st, 2024, Governor Maura Healey signed into law Chapter 239 of the Acts of 2024, Climate and Energy Siting Legislation, which amended Section 3, Definitions, and Section 10A, Powers, Functions, and Duties of the Committees of the Old Kings Highway Regional Historic District Act as amended. The First Amendment added a new definition to Section 3 of the Act, which reads as follows. Quote, solar energy system, unquote, shall mean a device or structural design feature, a substantial purpose of which is to provide for the collection, storage, and distribution of solar energy for space heating or cooling, electricity generation, and water heating. The Second Amendment added an additional criteria to Section 10 of the Act, which reads as follows. Notwithstanding any general or special law to the contrary, the committee shall give substantial weight to the threat posed by climate change and the Commonwealth's statewide obligation to meet greenhouse gas emission limits and sublimates established under Chapter 21N when ruling on applications for certificate of appropriateness for solar energy systems. As a result of this legislative enactment, I recommend that in passing upon all future solar energy systems that cannot meet the requirements for a certificate of exemption or a certificate of appropriateness, your town committee specifically address in its deliberations this added criterion and record into the written denial for specific overriding factors that support the denial decision. Best regards, James R. Wilson, Administrative Counsel. So this is a lot to digest, and copies for anyone who is interested will be available at the Old Kings Highway office, and Lisa Sherman will be happy to provide them to anyone who's interested, and we will be picking this up, and it will be on the agenda for our next meeting. So the next item on the agenda is to welcome a new member, and we do not have said new member as yet, so I will not be welcoming that member, phantom member. And the next item on the agenda is the election of chair and vice chair for 2025, and for that purpose, I will need to have a nomination for chairman of this committee.
I nominate Robert Wilkins as chair for 2025.
I second that nomination.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And because I'm necessary for a quorum, I will vote for myself and say aye as well. Now we need a nomination for vice chairman for 2025.
I would propose as a nominee for vice chairman for 2025, Cindy Acker.
All right, and I will second that nomination. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye for the quorum purposes.
Okay, so that's all set. And now we will hear the applications. So the first item on the agenda is 25-A007. It's to replace and paint the front door at 25 Nicholas Drive. Lauren Gabrielle and Stephen DeForio are the owners. And who do we have tonight?
Someone's on Zoom.
Oh, looks like we have Lauren.
Hi. You have
Great.
both
Hi.
myself and my husband is. Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Great. My husband is also on. We're just in different locations right now. So we recently purchased 25 Nicholas about 8 months ago, and we're just looking to replace the front door. It is currently painted black, and the molding on it is all melting off because it was painted black and is in direct sunlight. It was previously, prior to our purchasing it, and several years ago, it was already red, which is the color we're proposing to turn it back to. But the door is also damaged. It has several dents in it that are inhibiting it from closing properly, and it's also causing drafts. So we're just replacing it almost with the same door. It just has a different molding to the top of the windows.
Is that it, Lauren?
That's it.
Okay. Questions or comments from the committee?
So Lauren, that door is the spec, I'm sorry, the spec you have in the packet, it says classic craft American fir. So is it wood or is it fiberglass?
It's fiberglass, I believe.
Okay.
Other questions or comments from the committee? Any questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve application 25-A007.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor of approval of this application signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So congratulations, Lauren. You are all set.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. The next item on the agenda is 25-A008. It's to install 29 solar panels on the front and rear roofs at 48 Shaker House Road. Roberto Diaz is the owner, and Team Sunshine Construction LLC is the agent. And who do we have present tonight?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
How's it going?
we're fine. How are you?
Doing well.
Good. So tell us.
We just have a standard solar project here at Roberto's house. We are looking to replace the roof alongside install a solar system and potentially remove a tree, but we can match his production guarantee without removing it as well.
Is that it?
Yep, that encompasses the scope.
Okay, the application does not entail replacing the roof. Is that, that's, I assume, for structural reasons?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So is someone else putting on, so Isaiah, you didn't tell us who you're with.
Oh, I'm with Team Sunshine Construction. I'm the operations manager.
Okay, so would you guys be doing the roof or some other sub?
We're doing the roof, yeah. We'll be pulling the contract for it. Or not contract, sorry, the permit.
And do you know what type of roof they want to put on?
We're just going to match the same color of shingles and the same architectural type that's existing.
They're
this
not architectural right now, they're 3 tabs.
Or I'm looking at the site survey photos.
They're very old 3-tab shingles in pretty poor condition, so I'm glad to hear you're replacing the roof.
Yeah, the last note from the roofing team says they're going to match the shingle type. So 3-tab.
So, but
My
this
apologies.
is the roofing material that's visible, the exposed roofing material is not like for like, it's not the same roofing material that's currently on the roof? Is that correct?
I'm sorry, what do you mean? So like the roof that we're planning on
Yes.
installing?
You're not using the same shingles?
We're gonna match the same existing shingle type so it looks the same as it did, just newer. So the 3-tab lightish gray color.
Right, the reason I'm sticking to this point is that we've run into trouble in the past where we've dealt with applications where the specifics of the application were not on the agenda. That's an open meeting law violation. We have to have, our agendas have to be accurate and complete. And if there's an addition to the project that's not on the agenda, then what we've done in the past is table the item until the next meeting. So just tell us again, the current roof material that's on there is exactly what?
It's a light gray 3-tab shingle.
That's what's currently on there. And what are you
Yeah.
replacing it with?
A new light gray 3-tab shingle.
Oh, so that's my question. So it's like for like, it's the same material.
Oh, yes. My apologies.
That's all I needed to know. Okay. You satisfied?
I don't know if they even make three-tab shingles, but I don't know.
All right, okay, we're good.
Would it be helpful to suggest, to make the panels potentially less conspicuous, that the roof colour could be darker this time around?
Oh,
It's typically what we like to see is a darker roof so that the solar panels don't stick out as much. I don't know if that's something they would consider or not, because I know they already have, did you guys do the solar panels on the rear of that house? Your company?
No, we did not.
Because I know there's shingle, they already have solar panels on the rear, is that correct, Isaiah?
I have no record of that.
Okay.
on
Well,
any that I have in front of me.
Okay. I believe that that shows some on the roof, on the rear.
Both sides, I think, Cindy. Yeah,
Doesn't show in the, does it show it in the pictures? Not really.
well, I think the point being made by the vice chair is there's a chance for an aesthetic improvement here. Is there an opening on the part of the applicant for that? It's just a change in color we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. Good. That was resounding. Okay. You were saying?
I wasn't. The point has been made and responded to
Okay.
by the owner.
All right,
Thank
so
you.
do we,
I encourage a darker gray roof shingle if you would be accepting of that, Melissa. Melissa, I take it you're Roberto's other half.
Yes, that's me. He's here as well. Yes, we are
Okay.
very accepting to a different color. That's
Okay.
fine. That's not a bad problem at all.
all right. Other questions or comments from the committee?
I mean, is that,
Put it as an amendment.
okay. I think that's it for me.
Okay.
I think there, I'll make a comment, that I did not see any other solar panels in this neighborhood, but as we are trying to encourage them now, I think that this is a reasonable application.
Any other questions or comments from the committee?
No.
Questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Yes, sir. Would you?
Thank you. David Barr. I'm on Curly Redberry, which is right around the corner from Shaker House. And there are solar panels on a house right across the street from me.
On the front.
So, just to say that in the neighborhood, there are some.
Yep, I did notice that
And
too.
down on the end of, I believe it's Shaker House, maybe it's Skipper, but there's a house down on a dead-end street which also has solar panels on it.
Yeah, I think that's Skipper, and you're correct. Thank you. Any other questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
I move to approve 25-A008.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of approving the application signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. Congratulations. You're all
Thank you
set.
very much.
Thank you.
Would you care to write up the amendment?
Sure.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is 25-A009, to replace a window and 3 patio doors at 55 Early Redberry Lane. David and Sherry Barr are the owners.
I'm David Barr.
Good evening.
Hello, David, again.
So, tell us.
Well, we have a sunroom off the back of our house that has 3 old aluminum sliding patio doors. And during the winter, the heat in the house causes the aluminum to sweat, and the condensation freezes. And then as it melts, it comes down and it rots the wood surrounding the inside of the patio doors. Knowing that they were put in at the original build, I'd like to update them to a Harvey sliding door, exactly the same size, but it's made out of vinyl instead of the aluminum. And then the front picture window, which is a bay style, again, I believe it's the original window. I would like to update that to also a Harvey window. The grid pattern that I've ordered is 4x4, which is also common in the neighborhood, but I realized after I had put the application in, the existing window is 5x4. I'm not sure if that really is an issue, but I miscounted when I did the application, and I reordered the window with a 4x4 grid pattern, which is going to be in between the glass. But it will be white, as the one in the house is now.
Okay. Are you done?
I am.
Okay. Questions or comments from the committee?
No, thanks.
I guess my only, I'm fine with all of everything except for the grid pattern, but I'm just looking at the photograph of the existing bay window, and my only concern is that if it goes from 5 or 5 by 4 to 4 by 4, that they still be rectangular in this orientation. I think they will be, looking at, just drawing an imaginary line in here, I think they will still be rectangular, higher, taller than they are wide.
Well, it's still 4 high.
Right, so the height won't change, but the width will be,
Width will be a little bit,
but it's, I
little
don't think
bit
they'll be
wider.
square. They'll still be rectangular up
yeah.
and down. That was sort of my thought.
I guess you could call a square a rectangle. right?
But it's going to be flush, right, not bay?
Correct.
Other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve application 25A009.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So, before you leave, would you kindly come up and sign this document, which simply indicates that if you intend to make any changes, you'll let us know. Where it says owner. And you are all set.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay,
You have a good night.
good night. The next item on the agenda is 25-A010. It's to to put an addition to the left side of the house at 813 Route 6A. Joseph and Linda Dowd are the owners, and George Davis is the agent.
Good evening, my name is George Davis. I'm here on behalf of the owners, Joe and Linda Dowd. We are seeking to put a small addition to the left side of the house and replace the front bay window. I'll answer any questions you have.
Thank you, George. Do we have any questions or comments?
So they're replacing other windows in the rear as well, yes?
In the rear, yeah, there's some
Rear.
windows that are being replaced.
So there's
in the-
4 windows in the rear and the one new one in the, the one bay window in the front are all to be
Yeah.
replaced,
Yeah. I believe the ones in the rear are not visible from any public way.
or not? And some of the shapes and sizes are changing on the rear, right? The rear, one of the windows is changing the shape and size on the rear, or no?
No, they're actually going to be the same. Those plans may show a flat window on the rear, but they're existing bay windows, and they'll remain bay windows.
Okay.
But it's not visible.
So this is the proposed rear south elevation?
That's correct.
So the bay windows are changing to flat, and then all these windows are changing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 windows are being changed? The ones that have red
Yeah, some of the ones.
dashed lines around them?
Yeah, some of them are just moving left or right a little bit, and some of them, but again, they're on the rear of the building. So,
I'm just trying to understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
I ask you what the detailing is?
That side and facing the street will be the clapboard that will match the adjacent area. It's like a 3.5 inch exposure clapboard.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the committee?
So I'm just curious, what the existing windows, are they wood or vinyl, George?
They're technically wood, but they're a vinyl clad wood. They're Anderson 400
The
series.
existing ones are, so the new ones
correct.
will be the same?
That's
match
correct.
the exi- Okay, great,
That is
thanks.
correct.
Any other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Looks nice to me, George. All in favor of approval of this application signify by saying aye.
Need a motion?
You want a motion or not?
Want a motion?
Moving right ahead.
Okay, fine.
Yes,
Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go.
okay, fine.
Okay, no. Well, motion to approve.
All right.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Now, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And aye. So George, I know you know the drill. If you will sign this, in case you decide to change anything, which I imagine you won't. but You're welcome. Good night. The next item on the agenda is 25-A011. It's to add an accessory dwelling unit and addition to the house at 10 Nickerson Farm Way. Julie and Jeffrey Dunnican are the owners, and Cape Home Designs, Inc. is the agent. And do we have either owner or the agent present? Good evening.
Good evening. Cindy Paul, nice to see you.
Evening, Rob.
My name is Rob Nelson. I'm actually Julie and Jeff's son-in-law, so my wife is right behind me. We grew up around here. We went to DY and then moved away, and coming back and trying to afford, and it's very expensive. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to have the right-hand portion of the house be a connected accessory dwelling unit, which we would turn into like a master bedroom, living, kitchen area for my in-laws so that they can live there. And then we're gonna turn the left side of the house into my family's house for me and my two daughters. So you can see a small gabled addition off to the right, and then another addition off to the left.
Okay. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Questions or comments from the committee?
Hi. So the windows in the new two additions on both sides are going to match the existing windows in terms of grid pattern and materials and everything?
Yes, the grid patterns that are shown there are what we're planning for grid patterns, and the window type themselves are gonna match existing.
Okay, great, thank
which
you. Same, and I assume same with the roof and the siding will all match?
Yeah, the roof is gonna match the same architectural shingle that's there in color.
Are you putting a second fireplace in, Rob?
That's the hope, to enjoy the nice nights out by the fireplace, for sure. Price might give us a gut punch, but
Other questions or comments from the committee?
Nope.
Nice, quiet neighborhood down there. Yeah. I have good friends who live on Nickerson Farm Way.
Yeah.
It's a good little neighborhood. And everybody seems to stay around there, which is nice. You get to know everybody.
Nice.
Yes, we have no more questions or comments. Any questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve, sorry,
No, good.
ladies first.
I move to approve A 25-A011.
Seconded.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. Congratulations. Before you leave,
Do you have a builder yet lined up?
Yeah, this is my dad and brother.
They're builders? Yeah. Oh, excellent. Yeah.
If we did want to choose to add a window, how do we go about?
oh, that's what this is for.
What this is for. So if you're going
So-
to make any changes,
Yeah.
you need to let us know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have in-laws that were like, just look at the plans, you have like 4 or 5 months until we go to historic, and that was like the week we submitted. We want a couple windows.
Just sign right at the top.
Where it says owner,
If you're,
contractor.
if your father-in-law and his brother, you said are builders, he should give you the family and friends discount. Good luck.
Thank
You're
you.
brave.
Good luck with
Looks
it.
very nice.
The in-laws. Luck.
Good night. Good night.
Bruce Jr. Bruce, why is it so far later? That's why, because we did this 42nd time. Says the Trinity.
And now we will move on to the three tabled items. The first one of which is 24-A144 to install 7 solar panels on the rear roof at 859 West Yarmouth Road. Callie Moran is the owner, Trinity Solar, Inc. is the agent. We need to untable this application.
Move to untable 24-A144.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor of untabling application 24-A144 signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So now we will hear 24-A144. And who do we have this evening to present?
Good evening, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Brendan. I'm representing Trinity Solar on this project.
Hey, Brendan.
So I was here a couple of months ago when I originally brought this project to the committee. The main issue last time was that the panels were located on the front of the house. I brought it back to my design team. They ran the numbers and they found some locations in the back of the house to move the panels to. So I'm representing to the committee to see if I can get approval.
Okay. Is that it?
That is it.
Okay. Questions or comments from the committee? No? Questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Oh, we have one? Okay.
I just was curious at this point if you could do the numbers and let us know the change in power that going from the front to the rear is going to affect.
I don't have the the shade calculations with me. I could give you those numbers if I did. I know that the panel's production value was a bit higher. I think it was like 15% higher at the front of the roof, 20%. But I don't have exact numbers on that.
That's fine, actually, 20%. That actually kind of tells the story. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve 24-A144.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. So. So we're just going to use this other one and just.
Yeah, yeah, I think it was just a, must have gotten passed around by mistake. You can cross that out if you want to. Yeah, seems to make sense.
The next tabled item is 25-A005. It's to install 26 solar panels on the front and rear roofs at 59 Barnacle Road. Jared Golan is the owner. Freedom Forever MA LLC is the agent. Who do we have present tonight? Well, let's untable it first.
Move to untable 25-A005.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor of untabling 25-A005 signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. Now we will hear, hopefully, 25-A005.
Hi, guys. I'm Melissa. I work for Freedom Forever.
Hi,
Okay.
Melissa.
Hi. Yeah, so the panels are going to be black on black, 26 panels. We have to, unfortunately, put 8 of them on the front of the house. Eastern side of the roof, there's too much shade, so it's not a viable location to kind of move those to the back.
Is that it, Melissa?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Questions or comments from the committee?
Melissa, do you know if they're planning to replace the roof before they do the solar panels? Looked like it was in pretty rough shape.
Oh.
I'm sorry?
I don't believe so, at least not on our end of things. I think, yeah, we don't have a roof for this one.
Okay.
I would echo that.
It's just so they're aware that if they put solar panels up now on an old roof, they're going to be facing a lot of money when they need to replace their roof to take the panels off. I don't know, but that's their prerogative, right? You don't need to require them to do that.
Did your team make that assessment, do you know? Or perhaps you don't, but for
We
that.
sent somebody out there to actually like walk the roof and check on, the condition, the structural condition to make sure that it can hold the weight of the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as our surveyor was concerned, it seemed it was in good condition for it, and it only has 2 layers of shingles.
Right. Yeah, I would have, that's standard procedure, I would assume.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from the committee? Any questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve application 25-8005.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
And the final tabled item on the agenda for tonight is 25-A006. It's to install 20 solar panels on the front roof at 38 Mariners Lane. Roy Robinson is the owner, Freedom Forever MA LLC is the agent.
Move to
Me again.
Okay.
Move to untable 25-A006.
Seconded.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor of untabling the application signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. Now we will hear 25-A006. Melissa, you are on.
Awesome. So kind of the same thing, black on black. Conduit's going to run through the attic. This house has an existing system of 27 panels. So our new system, adding 20 panels to it, kind of has to go on the north and eastern side of it. But yeah, beyond that, we're just kind of tying into the existing system.
A lot of panels.
Okay. Questions or comments from the committee?
No, I like the fact that it had a dark gray roof, so the roof was in good shape, so.
Melissa, do you know the size of the house in square footage?
I do not.
So what prompted the addition, the need for more panels, if it's not a rude question?
Usually it's just the homeowner's consumption. Typically, like as that goes up, it's to meet their current needs. So it could be anything, maybe, they're leaving their stuff on a little more, or, to offset either air conditioning. That's typically why we do that.
I guess I'm asking why the first lot didn't do the job. Is that what I'm asking?
We didn't do that initial install, so it could also be like the actual wattage of the panels aren't producing as much as they should. There's a kind of a variance, a 20% variance on a sold system size. So this one probably was sold to them and their consumption has gone up.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Someone has a raised hand. I don't know who. Jared Small Shark? Who's that?
Oh, Jared. Do you wish to address us, Jared? Okay. Any other questions or comments from the committee? Apparently not. Any questions or comments from abutters not present? Or yes, we have a question or a comment.
I didn't introduce myself last time, Elizabeth Hargo. And I would note that the system here with Freedom Forever would be a leased system, and the cost of electricity keeps going up. And so part of what the way these have to pay for themselves is by putting on more panels to deal with growing electric costs. So, there's Jared.
Oh, well, that's all right.
So,
Hold on, Jared. We'll be with you in a minute.
So I think
I'm
that
waiting.
might help answer your question about, and it has a lot to do with the lease issue, because the leasing company has to make their money too.
Okay, thank you. Jared,
Yes, hello. Yes, this is Jared of 59 Barnacle Road,
Hi, Jared.
Oh, yeah.
and I'm speaking on behalf of Kristen, who was with me. And when I heard and looked at the transcript from Melissa Fleming from Freedom Forever, we were told that we were going to have a new roof installed prior to them installing the solar panels.
Okay.
So when they said that they weren't replacing the roof, that was wrong based on the agent that we were talking to.
Jared, do you know if you were planning on replacing the roof like for like? Same
The
material?
roof was supposed to have been replaced with the same as our neighbor, because our neighbor next door had the same system installed, and they were duplicating that for us.
So it's not the roof that is currently on your house, the one you're proposing replacing?
It's supposed to be black on black with a, it was what they call architectural shingle, black.
What's the roof that's currently on the house?
It's a 3-tab, gray.
It's in sort of old, on the old side, Jared, the roof?
Oh yeah, it needs to be replaced.
Okay. And so is the solar company doing that for you? Did they say they're doing that prior to the installation of the panels? Is that what I recall?
Yes, that's what they told us.
Okay.
And everything was designed and done for the application for the permits.
So.
And then when I heard that tonight, that
Right.
they weren't replacing that, saying that the roof was okay, that's wrong.
Okay.
Okay, so we're on to the next item on the agenda, so
I'm not sure what we should do, because now they're changing from 3-tab to architectural, which was not what the solar company said.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the same as our neighbor, who is the same company that installed theirs.
So it should have said that in the application, right? Should have said that they're changing the roof from 3-tab.
can we get
Great.
past this with an amendment, do you think?
I'm slightly lost, I'm sorry. Which
So that-
application?
This, the previous one we just
Previous one.
approved.
Right.
So,
We asked if they were changing the roof, and the solar company said, yes. No, what, I can't remember, there've been so many solar applications tonight, I can't remember which one was which, but I can't remember what that solar company said, but it sounds like Jared says that they were
well,
planning to replace the roof, but it was not in the
I'm
application.
wondering if, just to get by the procedural problem of this already having been approved, if we could just add an amendment if we're satisfied with the change. It's
I mean,
irregular, but maybe it would cover us if we did that. So why don't we do that? So, no one said no, so,
as long as that's legal and legit, I'm fine with that.
well,
So my question is,
Yeah.
if you table this again and get the correct response from the company stating the fact that what the material's supposed to be, what color.
that's what
Because
the problem is, we already approved the application.
Yeah.
So we're
but-
trying to deal with that reality. Had you come on,
You're right.
5 minutes earlier, then we
Yeah, it wouldn't let me.
But
log
the
on.
but the practical aspect of this, that we probably would have approved the application with the amendment to the change
Okay.
in the roof. So we're going to do that now. It's a little irregular, but I think it gets us past the problem of already having approved the application, and it gets you what you want,
Yep.
which is the roof change. There'll be a record of that now.
Okay, good.
All right, you satisfied?
Yes, I am.
Good. All right. So, work on getting the amendment written, and then we will, move on.
Just real quick, Jared, you're for 59 Barnacle, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure I get that up the chain for the right project that I'm looking at.
Yeah, not to muddy the water, but actually to muddy the water, Melissa. You felt that your structural report was sufficiently good to proceed without changing, did you not?
Yes.
So therefore, Our
They
amendment,
told us that the roof had to be replaced.
Because I'm seeing on our project pipeline, there's nothing about a re-roof or anything, so I at least want to flag that to the right people tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
That way, at least, you know, there's one definitive answer, so it's not like,
Yeah, we already put a
we're
call in.
subbing it, you know?
All right. Well,
regrettably, there's been miscommunication.
all right, we will let you work that out between yourselves,
Yeah.
Okay, good.
okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jared, you said dark gray?
It was supposed to be dark gray,
Okay.
just like the neighbors.
Okay, thank you.
Glad we got that straight.
Thank you again.
Great.
Terrific. Okay. So this goes with this one.
To approve the minutes, I don't know if we can.
Okay, now we need to approve the minutes of the January 13th hearing.
Haven't voted
Did we
on.
approve that last?
Oh,
Last meeting.
we didn't do that yet? Okay. It's all your fault, Jared. You got me screwed up here. All right.
We haven't done 25, yet?
What's that? We're approving it. So, do I have a motion regarding 25-A006?
25-A006.
Seconded with the,
As amended?
with
No, the first one, no,
this-
it's not
this is
as amended. Okay.
With the input that this will be the first, as far as I could see, in that neighbourhood that brings solar panels onto the front roof.
Yep. I would agree with you. I didn't notice any either.
All right.
I did not notice any either, so I would agree with you on that. That would be the first one, visible solar panels in the front.
So it's been moved and seconded?
Second.
All in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. All right. Now,
Now, on to the minutes, Chairman.
on to the minutes.
I'm not sure we can approve them.
Oh,
I wasn't here, so I can't.
Oh.
vote on them.
Okay. All right, so we will have to table approval until
Next meeting.
the next meeting. Okay, so, new business.
Hopefully will we have a quorum of attendees from the last meeting at the next meeting? Probably may not, Bob.
Well, we'll see.
it
We'll
does.
we'll
I
worry
will-
about it when we get to the next meeting.
Okay.
So, okay, so, the next item on the agenda involves a vote to nominate and approve John Grady and John Stewart for appointment by the Select Board as alternate members of the Old Kings Highway Historic District. So I'm going to set the table on this one. In our bulletin, Section 5, page 9, final paragraph, it says, "The selectmen or town council of any member town may," and I'm going to emphasize this phrase, "upon the nomination and approval of the committee, annually appoint 2 persons residing in the district to serve as alternate members of the committee." So we are charged, our committee is charged with the responsibility of nominating and approving the candidates for consideration by the Select Board. They make the ultimate determination, but it's based on our nomination and approval, hence this item on the agenda. So, is there any discussion regarding the nomination and approval of either John Grady or John Stewart for appointment by the Select Board as alternate members of our committee.
I move to appoint John Grady and John Stewart. I move to recommend John Grady and John Stewart for appointment by the Select Board as alternate members of Old Kings Highway.
Okay, may I suggest that we use the precise wording in the bulletin? That
to nominate and
the
approve?
motion is for the nomination and approval
Okay.
of
Okay.
John Grady and John Stewart. Is there
I
a
would like to
second?
make a motion to nominate and approve John Grady and John Stewart for appointment. Lisa, you can
Okay,
get
is
it
there a
off.
second?
Happily second.
All right, all in favor of nominating and approval of John Grady and John Stewart for appointment by the Select Board as alternate members of this Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee, signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. Next meeting is February 10th, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye,
Aye.
Aye, aye, aye.
and we are adjourned.